We are here with Bart in Singapore. Unfortunately, he could not come to Hong Kong this time. So we take the opportunity to interview him and let him share his thoughts with us. Bart?
Thank you all for having me. First, I really want to begin with my regrets for not being with you guys in person. I have been traveling to Hong Kong since 1995. It is one of my favorite cities on the planet. And I can honestly say I am devastated by what's happening right now in a city that I love. And so please know that I really would have loved to have been in person with you all. And I look forward, hopefully, to be back with you sometime soon. And we are all with you in spirit.
Could you share with us your journey promoting the B Corp movement globally?
Certainly. And so, the B Corp movement has a pretty simple mission. We're trying to redefine the role of business in society. And fundamentally, we think that the global economy is facing an unprecedented crisis. The combination of the growing climate crisis coupled with the acceleration of disparity of wealth has created really a massive challenge for capitalism as we know it. And it's time for an evolution of capitalism. So at the core of the work we're trying to do is to shift the role of business in society so that it's more involved in solving the world's great challenges. That's the core vision of B-Lab. The way that we're going to get there, KK, is we're going to build a movement of people using business as a force for good. And our approach is really quite straightforward. We believe in the power of leaders, best-in-class companies that are using business for change. We actually certify them. As you know, as certified B corporations. We have about 3,100 certified B corporations now.
3,100.
Yeah, 3,100. They're from 150 different industries, about 80 countries. They range from multi-billion-dollar companies down to sole proprietors. Their single commonality is they're all using business as a force for good. Now, that community of leaders we shine a light on and try to tell their story to encourage others to follow. And our job, KK, is to try to provide tools that allows companies to be more like a certified B corporation. So we have two different tools, one of which is our impact assessment that we use for certification.
BIA.
The BIA. We've made it a public good. It's available for anybody to use. And currently we have about 100,000 companies that have used that tool to measure, manage, and improve their social and environmental performance. So that tool adds about 20,000 companies a year. And it is the major vehicle we have for scale to have companies be more like a B corporation. And importantly, KK, next year, starting in January, we're going to take that tool and actually repurpose it around the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we'll be releasing in January with the UN Global Compact something we're calling the SDG Action Manager. And it is essentially a tool online that is free and available for anybody to help you manage, measure, and improve your performance on the SDGs. Together, the BIA and the SDG Action Manager is the largest database of private company impact data in the world and is going to scale pretty dramatically to allow companies to be more like a B Corp. So that's one of our vehicles that we use for scale. And the second is around our legal framework. So KK, to be certified, you have to take and pass the impact assessment. You have to be transparent about the results. And third and finally, you have to align your mission with your governance. And to do that means rewriting your corporate governing documents to include the interest of stakeholders. And in many markets, to do that, we've had to create a new corporate form, legislatively, something called a benefit corporation. That's our second vehicle for scale. We've passed that law now in 37 American states. It's been passed in Italy, in Colombia, and in Canada as well.
Canada? Really?
Yeah, well, British Columbia in Canada. It's one of the provinces there. And it's moving forward in another 11 countries. And so those are the two tools that we use to allow companies to be more like a B corporation. And the end game, hopefully, is to inspire billions of people to buy from, invest in, and work for these inspiring, purpose-driven companies to fundamentally create a more inclusive economy. So that's kind of where we're at. We're at a moment where we have a good leadership group of the 3,100. We have about 100,000 companies we work with otherwise. And what's interesting right now, KK, is there's huge energy coming our way. The 3,100 has created a real foundation that has attracted interest from major multinationals.
You mean there are more applications
That's
to become
exactly
certified?
right. Not only small and medium enterprises that have always been the bread and butter of our movement, but we're getting interest from companies like Procter & Gamble and Coca-Cola and The Gap, Unilever and Danone. All of those companies are certifying subsidiaries because they too want to be part of this movement to use business as a force for good. And they're doing it not just because it's the right thing to do, because of the crises we discussed, but frankly also because it's just a better way to do business. They attract and retain better talent. They have more access to capital. They have stronger supply chains. And they have stronger consumer loyalty. So right now there's a fair amount of energy coming our way that's really exciting. And so the movement is at that inflection point, right? And it's at that inflection point. And we saw some of that this summer. I don't know, KK, did you see the Business Roundtable announcement?
Yes.
You know, I think that is in response to the B Corps movement and lots of other efforts to build a movement of people using business as a force for good.
It's really a landmark.
It is a landmark. It's a good indication of culture shift more broadly that we've redefined purpose in business. And I guess what I would leave you with regarding that important announcement is that though encouraging, the truth is we really need those 181 companies and others to put action behind their words. It's a beautiful announcement, but now is the time for real accountability and actions. And so we've called upon the BRT companies to join us to use business as a force for good and be accountable to all their stakeholders.
Are they responding?
We actually have gotten a fair amount of response from them. And, you know, it's not going to be an overnight challenge, but it is a good indicator to see this type of energy coming our way. And so I think we're at a really important moment in the movement where we have a strong foundation, an unprecedented crisis, and signs of a culture shift. And you put those together and it creates for a unique opportunity.
Finally,
Hong Kong.
We are the latecomer in this movement.
Yes.
We have only 9 certified B Corp right now.
Yes.
But we are setting up B Lab next year.
Yes.
What are your expectations of?
Well, Hong Kong, you know, Hong Kong is truly a global financial hub. It's one of very few that are viewed across the planet as one of the preeminent places in the world to do business. And therefore, your leadership role, quite honestly, no pressure, is quite critical. People need to be able to look at centers like London, Hong Kong, Singapore, New York, and see from those communities, those business communities, that they're embracing this new way forward. They're embracing the idea of a shift of the paradigm from the old shareholder capitalism paradigm to stakeholder capitalism. And so I think the opportunity is immense and your leadership is necessary. If we're really going to live into the idea of a new way to do business, Hong Kong's going to have to be at the forefront. And so I look forward to working with all of you moving forward. Again, my apologies that I'm not with you in person. But I'm so excited about the opportunities, not only in Hong Kong, but throughout the Asian region. And frankly, your leadership from Hong Kong for all of Asia will make a huge difference. So thank you very much. Thank you, KK.
Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Look forward to seeing you in Hong Kong one day.
I look forward to it as well.